Hi and welcome back. So in the previous video, we tried to extract the URL of the listings on the clothing tab, and then we tried hitting a request on that, and then we saw in our past product callback that we are getting the response. Now we will try to parse the products available on any of the single category, and then we will replicate this for all across the listing. So if we zoom this in a bit. Now here if we hover over clothing and let's just go for coats, you can go for any of the listing because more or less the e-commerce website follows the same pattern across all the products listing. So here actually it will take some time because right now the website is fetching information from the server, and actually it is fetching the images and all that stuff from the server. So here we can see that we are getting the products, and at the bottom there is this pagination available. So page number 1 and then page number 2, and hopefully there are only 2 pages. Now if we just go for inspect and try writing the CSS selector, that will select each of this product, and then we will replicate, try to copy the same CSS selector in our Scrapy shell, and then see that whether we are getting the same product list over there as well or not. So to do this, let's just right click on this and go for inspect. Again, just click on it and go for Control minus to zoom out. Again, you have to zoom out to the point where you can actually see the exact website which you see in the usual version, like this one. Oh, actually we are in the same browser, so that's why this website all across the tabs are using the same zoom levels. But the thing is that try to zoom out this to a level that you get the actual layout here. So here now if we go for Control F and let's just right click on it, inspect. So this is the actual href, this is the actual anchor tag in which our link of the product is available. So what we can do, we can go for a CSS selector in a way. Okay, let's just select this thing, this one, Control V. So it uniquely identifies this, and from this div we have to go for the anchor tag, this anchor tag. Now if we hit on enter, perfect, we are getting this product. Enter this. So you can see on your left that the products are being highlighted next, and perfect, we are getting the product. So it will go on the end and up till here. So let's just copy this thing from here, go for the Scrapy shell in the IDE, and then try to replicate the same CSS selector over there. So over here, let's just open the Scrapy shell. And copy this URL, go for the fetch here. Paste this, fetch. Okay, let me just copy this URL again and fetch this out. Hit enter. Perfect. So now if we just try to paste the same CSS selector in the Scrapy shell by response.css over here, and then if we go for get all, so we are getting something. Now from these anchor tags, let's just try to extract the hrefs. So here you can see that all the we are getting the anchor tags for all the products. The only thing we require now is the href, is the link for the product page. So we have to go for attr and we have to get the href. Now if we get all, we are getting the URLs. Now if we just iterate on it, and let's just print the I. Perfect. We are getting the URL. So if we go for the count, that we are getting 60 products, and you can count this over here as well, that we are getting 60 products here, 1 2 3, and if you count the rows, hopefully the product count is 60 here on this page as well. Now to do what we have to do, we have to just copy this out and paste this in the spider. Okay, let's just keep this as it is. Now what will happen, we will, as soon as this parse function will extract the listing URLs from the home page, it will start sending requests on them. And as soon as we get the response for, let's say it sends request for the course category, and as soon as we get the response for the course category in the parse product, the response object will be mapped by the response of the server, and then we are just printing the response.url, and then we are printing the product URLs just to verify that this product listing, this let's say this course category, actually have all these products available, so that we can cross verify that this is the product URL which we are getting, and this is the product list, product URL list which we are getting, and we can cross verify that we are getting the proper URLs or not. So over here we will just print the response.url, that we are getting response for coats, or we are getting response for jackets or t-shirts, or any one of them, right? Any one of these. And then we will print the products that are being listed on that particular page. So here what we have to do, we have to go for, let me just copy this in a separate variable. CSS selector equals to this, and then CSS selector. Now if we just iterate over it for URL, for let's say for product URL, in this, let's just print the product URL. Now if we give it a go, let's just exit from the shell and go for Scrapy, crawl, and then the name of the spider boss. Hit enter. Hopefully we will be getting the product URL first, the product category URL first, and then we will be getting all the list of the products. So we are getting that. Let me just scroll this up. So okay, for avoid the confusion, or for making it look good, what we can do, let's just end this and put some white spaces here, just to distinguish that we are getting our response from the server, and then we will be printing the product list. Now if we again hit it, and again if you want to stop the running spider, you can go for Control C, and if you are on Mac, you can go for Command C. So over here now, in the category men underwear, if we hover over this, and if we go for let me just close this, and if we go for clothing, and there is a category with the, let me just zoom this in. So here is the category of men underwear. Now if I click open it on this page, so this is the URL, hopefully men underwear, and this is the exact URL which we are hitting here, and then these are the product list, hopefully, that we are getting on this product, on this category page. So the first product is 2 cotton bodywear t-shirts with vertical logo, and we are getting the same shirt, I guess. Let me just open this link just to cross verify that we are getting the accurate product list for the relevant listings. So here if we click on it, Perfect. We are getting the same URL which we are fetching here, and same all the product list which is available on this underwear category has been extracted by the Scrapy. The URLs has been extracted by the Scrapy, and we are getting the URLs here. Then next it is extracting the men jogging longwear. And then after printing the URL, it is printing all the products available on that page, and so forth. So in this video, we saw that how we can further, after extracting the product, after extracting the list URL of the clothing, how we can extract the URLs for the products available on that particular listing page. In the next video, we will try hitting on these URLs of the products and try to extract some information from the product page. Hi and welcome back. So in the previous video, we tried extracting the product URL from the listing pages. In this video, we will try sending requests on those products, and we will see that how we can extract information from them. So here, if we go for the IDE again, so notice that this for loop is responsible for extracting this callback is responsible for extracting the listing URLs from the landing page, and then we are sending request on all of the listing categories. Then after getting response for each category, we are directed towards the parse products by the Scrapy, and the response object is being mapped to this response, and then we are printing the response.url of the current listing which we are on, and then we are just using the for loop for iterating on the products available on that page, and then we are just printing the product URL. I'm not going through the pagination right now. We will see that in the later videos, but this for loop is responsible for printing the URLs for the product pages. Now, one thing to notice over here is that while writing the CSS selector, I only use this website, only use this category coats. I didn't go for the underwears, and I didn't go for the jogging stuff, and I didn't go for the t-shirts and tracksuit, any of the category. I just used this page for writing the CSS selector, and when I run this, I'm getting the listing URL, and I'm also getting all the products available on that particular page. And the reason for that is the structure of the e-commerce website is almost 90 to 95% same. So the CSS selector which one category is following, most probably around 90% of the times the other categories are also following the same CSS selector. So here the same structure of the website, the same structure of the HTML. So here we are actually hitting on multiple categories, and after hitting on multiple categories, we are actually able to get the products available under that category. So it's not like that we are hitting on a category and then after hitting we are unable to get the products. We are hitting on a category and then we are getting the products available on that category. So over here now, if we want to extend a further request, what we can do, let me just put a break here, otherwise it will take much time for completing the spider. Now what it will do, it will just simply hit on it, and for the first request, whatever it will get, for the first listing, whatever it will get, it will send a request on that and then break the loop. So here we will print the URL on which we are sending request, and on which, so actually we send the request and from whom we get the response, and then we will try to list the product available under that listing, under that category. So here if we give it a go again, Scrapy crawl boss, scroll up. So here you can see it is actually sending request to this URL, right? And upon landing on this URL, we are getting all the products available under this URL. Now, what we can do, we can simply go for yield. And now we can use response.follow, because here we can notice that we are only getting the extended URL. We are not getting the complete URL. So we can just go for response.follow and provide the product URL here. And in the callback, let's just specify the parse product. And let's name it self.parse product. And then what will happen is, after getting into this callback and after printing the response.url, after printing the URL from on which we are hitting right now, the category on which we are hitting right now, it will just extract the products available on that categories, and it is just sending request on that. In the next video, we will see that how we are getting the response of the product in this callback, and then we will try to extract information from them. Hi and welcome back. In the previous video, we tried hitting on the URLs of the product. In this video, we will try to write the callback of that response, and we will also try to write some CSS for extracting the useful information out of that product page. So here, if we go in our spider, so this is the callback which we are expecting for this response. So let's just write this, and def this self and then the response. And over here we can just simply go for print the response.url, but right now we do not need that. This for loop in the parse function is responsible for extracting the URLs from this from all of these URLs of all of these categories, and then hitting sending request on them. And we are breaking over here, so it will only hit on the first URL, all clothing. And in the base product, we are just simply printing the URL and then extracting all the products that are available in the response. And then from that, we are extracting the URLs and then sending request on those URLs. So right now, for the first iteration, we will be sending request on this URL. And the response for that will come inside this callback. Let me just put some parse here, and over here, let's just open Scrapy shell and see that what are the useful information that we can get from this page. So here, if we go for simply python -n Scrapy shell, so here now we are on this page, and let me just copy this URL and go for fetch. Now it totally depends on you that what information you want to extract from here. You know how to write CSS, you know how to navigate to your required tags for extracting that data. But right now what I will do, I will just simply look for the available colors of that particular product. I will look for the images of that product, and then in the bottom I will copy the care instructions as well. Now again, I'm not compelling you that you have to only have to look out for these elements, which I am doing. You can explore yourself further in any direction you want, but right now I'm just compelling for extracting the available colors of that product, the images of that product, and then the description, a care instruction of that product. And also for sure we will be extracting the name of that product. Now inside this shell, after fetching data, let's just hit F12 or inspect that for extracting the name first, and then we will see that how we can do further with that. So again, hit on minus, control minus for getting the same layout as you are getting in the full form. So here we want this name. Let's just click on it, right click and inspect. Over here, if we see that this is the stage header title, if we copy this and control F, control V, put it a dot, now it takes us to here. And again, if there are multiple classes available on our tag, you can copy them as well. Let's just say that I want to copy these two classes. I can just simply paste them here and separate them by a dot. Instead of a space, put there a dot and in the starting, and it will this complete thing will be considered as a class. But right now we just need the first one because it is sufficient enough for providing us the h1 which actually contains this thing. So if we go copy this, and if we come here, we go for response.css and this thing, and from here we want to extract the text and then the get. Hit enter, we get the product name and then strip to remove the extra white spaces from the string. So this CSS selector is responsible for providing us with the, let me just paste that here as well, product name. Now the next is I wanted to extract the available colors. So here go for inspect element, and okay, so these are actually the divs that are providing with the available colors. So here if we go for, let's just open this, and okay, I think that we can copy this class. Let's just copy the first one, and then if we didn't get up to this particular color, then we will just simply move further. So here if we go to this, it is uniquely so actually it is taking us to the last one as well, but we do not want to get to there. So here what we can do, we can just restrict that, we can just restrict it under a parent. So here if we go this div, so this is the parent. So let me just take this class and put it here. Perfect. Now we are only getting these 4 colors. Now let's just take this and go for the CSS response .css and paste this thing. So what this CSS will do, it will actually take us to this particular anchor tag, and from this anchor tag we want to extract the title, right? This title over here is light green, this is again light green, this is white, and this is black. So I don't know why they are putting light green twice, but they are offering light green over here, and white, and then black. So we can notice that inside our anchor tags, this is the title that actually contains the actual color. So here if we go for the attribute, because we want to extract the attribute, and our attribute name is title, and then if we go for get all, see, we get the available colors for that product. Now what we can do, we can just simply convert it in a string of separated by commas, or let's say let's just copy this from here, put this here and assign it to variable available colors, and let's just copy this from here again, paste this here, and then we can go for avail colors, and then we can go for the join. So again, as I explained earlier, that join is responsible for combining the list, combining the elements of the list separated by this provided delimiter. Now if I hit enter, it actually converts all the colors in a string. Instead of a list, it converted to a string and separated them by commas. So I can copy this now, and again over here, let me just put this here. Perfect. Now let's just head on extracting the next thing, which are the images of this product. Now if I hit inspect on it, it takes me to this image, and here I can notice that all the images are available in li. So list element for the first image, list element for the second image, and list element for the third image. So what we can do, we can simply go for, I guess we can just copy this class, the first one, put a dot, and first image, second image, and third image. Perfect. So this is quite simple, that this CSS selector is only, we are only writing a class name for as a CSS selector, and it is providing us with all the images URLs. Let's just copy this, go on our Scrapy shell, response.css over here. Let's just paste this, and from this li, we actually want, well, our actual image URL is present actually inside the further img tag, or instead of going this one, what we can do, we can directly refer to this image tag. I think that will also work. So if we remove this, and inside, if this image tag, we just copy this, and search it over here. So now we are getting the three tags that actually contains our images URLs. This one, second one, and the third one. So here upon this tag, we just need to hit on extracting the attribute src, because this source contains our images URL. Perfect. Now let's just go here, remove this, and copy this one, paste it here, and then we want to extract the attr from this relevant tag, and we want to extract the src. So src, then get all, hit enter. Now let's just iterate on it. Now if we just click on any of the URL, let's just ignore the first one, because it actually, the PyCharm actually break it for the next line, and it actually broke our URL. Let's just hit on the second. So we are getting this URL, and then if we go for this, we are getting the third image. Actually it's quite small over here, because our available colors are only the dull one. So okay, let's just copy this and paste this in the browser. Okay, we are getting the images. Also, I think that if we try to manipulate the width and the height, it can change the size of the image as well. You can give it a try, because some of the server is actually making it on the JavaScript side, that the JavaScript can actually manipulate the image size based on the size of the panel, right? So right now we are hitting on this, and if you can simply try to change the width and the height of these two parameters, hopefully it will change the size. You can give it a try, but it's not 100% workable. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, because most of the times the server is actually sending the actual images, right? Server is not asking from the browser to send the specs for the images, it just provide you with the images. So here this will not work. So getting back on track, so these are the images of the product which we need. So here let's just copy this from here, and if we do get all, we are getting that, and we can assign it to picture URLs. And let me just okay, so again because it is a list. Now let's just join this and hit enter. Now they are being converted as a string separated by commas. Again, it's totally depend on you. If you want to skip this step, you want to save the your data as a list, you can do that as well. I just usually prefer doing it in the string format, saving it in a string format, just to actually normalize the data. And the last thing which I want to extract from this page is this care instructions. So here, if we inspect that, and over here, so this is actually, now we are getting the ID. That's quite good, because as soon as you get the idea, you can directly refer to that. We are getting the ID, and inside this ID we are getting the class. So I think we can directly go for care info text, right? We can directly go for this span, because this span actually contains the actual text for the care info. So we can go for this, enter, enter, enter. Yeah, it is taking us through all of the care points. Now let me just copy this, and going back on the Scrapy shell, response.css, this thing, and from this I want to actually extract the text, because it is available as a text inside this span. So here the text, and then the get all, hit enter. We are getting the care instructions. Now let's just save this in a variable, and over here dot join, and then care ins, hit enter. And then for printing, let's just go for care ins. We are getting the care instruction separated by commas. Perfect. Let's just copy these two statements and paste this here as well. So in this video, up till now, we have seen that upon landing on the product page, how we can extract the required information from that. Again, it is not mandatory for you to extract the same information. You can go for exploring this on and on. But right now we are focusing on extracting these informations from here. In the next video, we will see that instead of getting all these images, which is a smaller version, how we can extract these images, which is actually a bigger version of the images, and then we will see that how we can actually yield that data out. Hi and welcome back. So in the previous video, we actually tried writing the CSS selector for extracting the relevant information from the product page. And then we noticed that the image size, the image URL which we are extracting, and then we open the image URL, we were getting a really small size images. And what we can do to get the bigger size images is quite simple. So notice something, that if we just take this and open this URL in new tab, the image is quite small. But on the other hand, if we just take this bigger version of the image and drop it here, the image is considerably big. So the reason for that is the URL. Notice the URL of both of these two. So here it is actually after the question mark, the parameters in which the browser is providing for the URL. It has the width and it has some QLT. So over here, if we just replace this thing from this to this, we are getting the bigger image. Now what we can do, let's just take this URL, go in the Scrapy shell, and try to see that how we can convert this URL for the smaller version which we are extracting and for which we wrote the CSS selector to the bigger version of the image. So if we go for fetch, and let's just fetch this URL. For the images, let's just copy this and let's just iterate on it and print the I. Okay, so these are the images which we are getting, and if we click any of this one, we will be getting smaller version of the images. Now, what we did, we just replace the text after question mark with this thing. Now what we will do the same thing in our IDE. So here, if we just go for, okay, print I dot split it on the basis of question mark. So if you are familiar with split, the split will convert a string into a list based upon the delimiters. So if I go for having a string, this string, and this, there is a question mark there. So if I split this string on the basis of question mark, Python will create a list. The first index of the list will be this thing. The second index of the list will be this thing. So here, if I split it on the base question mark, hit enter. Now I am getting the first index, the actual URL, and the second index is some gibberish information which is actually compelling the URL for being the shorter version. Now what we can do, we can again go for split on question mark, and then if we just directly refer to the 0th, we are getting this thing. Now if we just copy this stuff from here and append that, again I dot split on the base of question mark, then take the 0th index, and then let's just plus this as a string. Now if we hit enter, now if I click any of the image, see the image, we are getting the bigger image now. Perfect. So actually this is how usually, not all of the time, but around 90 to 95% of the time, this is how the website works with the images. They provide the browser with the image, and then the URL will decide that whether you will be getting the smaller version of the image or you will get the bigger version of the image. So you can just simply start exploring the two, comparing actually the URLs of the two images, the smaller one and the bigger one, and then you can notice that actually these parameters are responsible for resizing the image, and then you can manipulate them. So here, instead of referring to this stuff, now we can replace this stuff with this one. So let's just copy this and okay, now let's just copy this as well and append it in a list. Let's just create a list here, an empty list. And inside this list, we will just simply start appending this thing. And after the completion, we will just go for, we can just refer to that again. So what it will do, as you can see, we are getting pick URLs as the list. This will simply convert it in convert the list as a string separated by commas, and then we can refer to them. So let me just show you in the, okay, so empty list, and copy this, paste this here, now if we just let's just print the pix URL first. we are getting a list. And now if we just convert them like that, now it is a string, and the string which are separated by commas, and then we are assigning it to this variable. Perfect. So this will actually provide us with the bigger version of the images instead of the smaller ones. Let me just make it some neat. And also, if you are comfortable with list comprehensions, you can put that all stuff inside a single statement. So again, it totally depends on you. If you are comfortable with list comprehension, you can go for this notation as well, or if you are not, you can just simply rely on this one, this simple for loop. So in this video, we tried to change the size of the images, and then after changing the size, we converted them as a list. We saved them as a list, and then from the list we converted them to a string. In the next video, we will try to wind up the spider and give it a go. Hi and welcome back. Now let's just wind up the e-commerce website and yield out all the data that we just gathered. So here you can see that we are getting the product response, the product page response, and then we are extracting all the information out. Now what we can do is we can go for yielding out the data, and here let's just specify the product name, then the available colors, and then picture URLs, then the care instructions. Now when we will run this spider, it will actually come for this parse function with the response from this page, and then we are extracting all the URLs available on these categories, and then we are hitting request on every particular URL. As soon as we get response, let's say for the first iteration we are hitting on all clothing, and as soon as we get the response for all clothing, what we are doing, we are just printing the response.url, which I don't think so we need now because we are just yielding the data. And then after getting response of this page, we are just extracting all the products available on that page. Right, we haven't done the pagination yet, but we have extracted all the products available on that page. And then we are actually sending requests to the product pages available for that. So it will go on this product page, and then it will provide us with the callback in parse product and the response over here. And then we are extracting all the information, and then we are yielding the data. Then for the next iteration, it will send a request for the jackets, this one, the jackets, and then if we remove the break statement from here, it will, for the next iteration, it will send the request on jacket. It will come here for the jacket. It will extract all the products available on the jacket page. Then it will send request to the particular page, to the particular product page, and on there we are just extracting all the required information available on that page, and then we are yielding it. So now if we just simply run it, by going for Scrapy, crawl, and then the name of the spider boss. Now if we hit enter, it will start running the spider from this to this to this. Now let's just hit enter, and before entering, obviously we have to specify the output path. So here you can go for product.csv. Now hit enter. See, this is actually, if we just scroll up a bit, we are now actually extracting this information. So here you can see in the logs of your spider that every dictionary which you are seeing over here is actually the record or the row that is being yielded. So here it is now going on, and it will actually take a couple of minutes for the completion, because we are scraping complete website. We are scraping all the complete products available in these categories. So now let's just do the pagination meanwhile, while the spider is running. So upon landing on the page of any category, what we can do, let's just go for, never mind, we can work on it. If we go for F12, or certainly we can go for inspect as well. So here, this is the next button. If I click on it, right click on it, do the inspect. So this is the actual class doing for the icon button paging bar. If we open this, we want to get the URL for the next page. Okay, this is the anchor tag for the pagination, for actually the next pagination. So over here, if we just simply copy this, if we copy the class, and let's just see what happens. Put it a class, we don't need this button, I guess. This thing, then this thing, and then okay, it is not providing us with that, because dot button paging bar, okay, and then we are going for the pagination, but over here we also want to get to this one over here as well. So if we copy this again, paste this here, and remove this button again, put a dot here, and now over here put a dot over here as well, and this, yeah, okay, there is another space, so we have to put a dot here as well. Now it is okay. So now you can notice here something, that this is actually taking you to two highlighted points. The first one is this one, and the second one is this one. Again, the reason is the same, that the server is providing with the HTML for both the browser and the mobile browser, for the web browser and the mobile browser. And these things, most probably that this next button is applicable for the mobile browser, and this is applicable for the web browser, right, which we are working on right now. So here we can just simply check that if this thing is available, then that means that we have our next page available. So for the testing, let's just further take it to a category which has some fewer products. So here we have, okay, we have two pages. Now if we just hit F12 on here, and on this, Control F, paste this. Now it takes us to the next page URL. And if we go for the page 2 now, scroll to the bottom. So here we are not getting the next button. Now if we hover over it and click enter, see, we are not getting anything. So I think that we can rely on the CSS selector for for checking that whether the next page is available, whether the next page button is available or not. And if the next page button is available, we will send the request on that as well. Otherwise, we will just simply terminate that. So let's just copy this thing. And where we have to do the tweakings is, let's just check that whether our spider is completed or not. Yeah, it's done. So meanwhile, what we can do, that upon landing on the parse product page and sending request to all the products are listed on that particular page. Let's say if we landed on this category page for page number 1 for the starting page, and here we are getting all the products. Let it just be load again, and here actually one thing to make sure over here is that your machine is quite stable enough for running the spider, right? Because in my case, the machine right now is running some other softwares as well, like the screen recording and the audio recording and some other uploading and all that stuff. So that's why it actually makes my laptop slow. So if you are running a spider and you are also doing all that stuff, all the other stuff on your machine, it will eventually slows down your laptop. So this thing you have to take care of, that you usually other softwares, the other applications that you are using while running the spider, it will actually affect their speed as well. Your laptop will actually start lagging, because it is continuously sending requests to the server and getting response back and doing all that stuff. So it is actually making the complete machine, the PC or the laptop, slower. So here on the first page, so if after landing on the first page and sending and extracting the URL for all the products available on that page, this one, what we can do, we can just simply go for response.css and this thing for checking that whether we have the next page button or not. And let's just go for the Scrapy shell and see that what are the URL, how we can extract the URL for the next page. So Scrapy shell, let's just copy this URL. So we are getting this start and size parameter over here, because I moved to this page from the pagination, and that's how this website is controlling the pagination, start point and the size. So that's why we are getting this thing. But if we navigate to this page from the starting URL, from here if we go for quotes, hopefully we will only getting the first part of the URL, not the pagination. So okay, let's just see response. Okay, first thing we have to fetch that. See, we are only getting this URL. So fetch that, and then let's just paste this over here. And this over here is actually providing us with the particular anchor tag that has the information for the next page. So if we inspect that over here, because we want to extract the URL from that. So if we inspect that here, and on this anchor tag, we need to identify the href. This is the href. So we have to get to attr and then the href and then the get. and we get the URL. So if we click on it, it will hopefully take us to the next page. So in this video, we actually run our spider for extracting the products of all the first pages. And as we saw that it went perfectly fine. There was no error or no exception. And then we drive a CSS selector. We wrote a CSS selector for checking that whether the next page is available for that category or not. And in the next video, we will see that how we can send a request for the next page.